All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're again doing solving equations, except this time we have letters on both sides of the equal sign. So our first step for all of these is to figure out where the variables are, where the letters are, and get them on the same side. And then we solve just like we did yesterday. And so if we have, please don't throw things. If we have 4x equals 2x plus 14, the first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, I have x here and an x here, and I need them to be on the same side. So I'm going to move the smaller one. So I'm going to move the 2x. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. These cancel, and I'm left with 2x equals 14. Well, now that's pretty easy, right? What do I do now?
Solve it.
By dividing by 2.
Hold on.
And I get x equals 7. At this point, I'm going to check my answer. 4 times 7 equals 2 times 7 plus 14. 4 times 7 is 28. 2 times 7 is 14. And then 14 and 14 is 28.
So you always get little, you always get rid of the little.
Yes, always move the smaller number. Okay, so let's try B. Now B is a case where we wouldn't do that. What would happen if I moved 2k to the other side? What would happen to that side of the equal sign? There wouldn't be anything there, and you can feel free to do that, but a lot of people forget to bring the 0 down. In this case, I'm going to add 4k to both sides. And I'm going to get 2k equals negative 12. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I get k equals negative 6. You guys, if you could circle your answers so I can see where they are, because we have this whole check part, be a good plan. So I'm going to do negative 2 times negative 6 equals negative 4 times negative 6 minus 12.
Can you say that over? Can you say that?
Can I say what I just did again?
How come you added 4 instead of 2?
I added the 4 because if I added the 2 to the other side, I would have a 0, which you can feel free to do, but a lot of people drop the 0 and then they can't figure out how to solve the problem. So you can totally add 2k to both sides, but you left with, it would say 0 equals negative 4k minus 2k minus 12. And that confuses some people. Yes. So negative 2 times negative 6, excuse me, stop. Shh. I swear. Negative 2, stop. Turn around. Negative 2 times negative 6 is a positive 12. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 minus 12 is 12. 12 equals 12. Check. Let's try C. Okay. Stupid computer. Daniel, put your face forward, and I don't want to see you turn around again. I'm serious. All right, so we're going to look at C. H minus 7 equals 8h. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract h from both sides. And we get negative 7 equals 7h. And then divide by 7. You feeling pretty comfortable with this? No? Okay, we're going to plug it back in. Negative 1 minus 7 equals 8 times negative 1. Negative 8 equals negative 8. Check. Do we want to try D then?
No.
No? We want to skip down?
Yep. Sure.
Why don't we try D on our own? Everybody try D on their own, and I'm going to come check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over D real quick then. You had 3x minus 1 equals 2x plus 3. I really hope you're not talking one time. Subtract 2x from both sides. You get 1x minus 1 equals 3. Add 1 to both sides. Get x equals.
Can you slow down? Can you please slow down?
You should have already done this problem, so no. 3 plus 1 gives us 4. At this point, you plug it in. 3 times 4 minus 1 equals 2 times 4 plus 3. 3 times 4 is 12 minus 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 3. 12 minus 1 is 11. 8 plus 3 is 11. Check. When I ask you to try a problem, I do expect you to try it. All right, we're going to move on to example 2A. Example 2A. Okay, example 2A, we've got 2 times y minus 2 equals 6y. So what do I do first for these type of problems?
You do the
Distribution property. Good. Distribution property. And I get 2y minus 4 equals 6y. Is everybody okay with that so far? Just distributive property.
now you take 2 from each side.
Okay?
I mean, you add
Now
2
you're
from
going
each
to
side.
subtract 2y from each side. Remember, if you move it across the equal sign, you have to change the sign. If you move it across the equal sign, you have to change the sign. So you get negative 4 equals 4y. What do I do now? Divide by that positive 4. And you get negative 1 equals y. Please don't do that. Now I'm going to plug it back in.
Wait, how do we get a negative?
A negative divided by a negative is positive.
That's a negative. What's a negative?
Negative 4 right here. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So 2 times negative 1 minus 2 equals 6 times negative 1. Negative 1 minus 2 is 3. 2 times negative 3 equals 6 times negative 1. Negative 6 equals negative 6. Check.
How do we get a negative in the top? It's not a negative.
There's a negative 4. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4.
Change to negative because
Shoot, right there you've got a negative 4.
right.
You've got to get rid of that negative 2 first, and
I didn't
then
bring the negative sign.
you'll divide.
I thought that was minus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at C. Let's look at C. Okay. C, we've got 4 times k minus 2 equals 7k plus 10. Okay. So what's the first thing? You guys should all have C in front of you. What's the first thing you do?
You do the
Distributive property. Good. With the arrows. So you get 4k minus 8 equals 7k plus 10. My recommendation at this point is because 4k is smaller than 7k that you move 4k to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 4k from both sides. These cancel. I'm left with negative 8 equals 3k plus 10. So now it should look just like the stuff we did yesterday. At this point, I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides.
I got a question.
Yes, Marta.
How come you subtract before instead of adding it? Because this is minus sign right there.
Did I drop a minus sign?
The
No,
minus
okay.
sign, 4k minus
So
7.
it's a positive 4k right here, right? To get rid of 4k plus 4k would give you 8k.
Right.
I want there to be a 0 on that side.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides,
Cool.
and I get negative 18 equals 3k. Divide by 3, I get negative 6 equals k. Before I go and check it, did you guys understand what Martel was asking? He wanted to know why I'm subtracting 4k. Remember, I'm trying to get a 0 on this side and move the 4k to the other side. When I cross the equal sign, I have to change the sign. When you cross the equal sign, you have to change the sign. See how I cross the equal sign? I'm subtracting 4k from this side and across from it on the other side. All right, let's look at example 3b. We've got 6f plus 24 equals negative 2f. Now here's one of our special cases again. Usually I tell you to move the smaller letter. I don't want to do this time. Why? Because you'd get a 0 on one side of the equal sign because there's nothing left.
Would the answer still be the same?
Yes. So I'm going to subtract 6f from both sides because it looks better and I don't have a 0 left on one side. And I get negative 8f. What do I do now to get rid of that negative 8?
You divide it.
Divide. Good. Just like we did yesterday. Those opposites. I get negative 3 equals f. Feeling pretty good about this?
Somewhat.
Why don't we try C on our own? Why don't we try C on our own? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and look at C. We've got negative 8, stop talking, plus 3h equals 2 times h minus 5. So the first thing we do is we distribute. So we get 2h minus 10. Okay? Then we're going to subtract that 2h. I subtracted because it was smaller.
Right.
And I get negative 8 plus 1h equals negative 10. Yes?
I'm just checking my answers.
You're good? Now I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So 1h equals negative 2. That's the same as h equals negative 2. You can divide by 1 if you want, but it's the same thing. Okay, we're going to do the last problem. We're going to do example B on the back. We're going to do example B on the back, so please turn them over. Yes, Martel?
Oh, never mind. You would add 8.
Right. Turn it over. We've got 12 times x minus 7 plus 3 times 2x plus 2 equals 50x minus 62. I know it seems really long, but it's not that bad. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is distribute everything. We get 12x minus 14, 84, thank you, plus 6x plus 6. 6x plus 6
That's a lot, man.
equals 50x minus 62. And then we're going to combine like terms. Which ones have x's that could go together? Martel, I really do appreciate you participating, but you do not have to say everything you're doing out loud. Okay, I understand that, but while I'm teaching, you do not need to say everything out loud. Okay, so what are like terms? They have to have the same what? Same variable, same exponent. So 12x and 6x can go together, but I'm not crossing the equal sign, right? So I'm not changing the signs. So I'm just doing 12x plus 6x, which gives me 18x. And then negative 84 plus 6 becomes 78. Equals 50x minus 60. So I'm going to subtract 18x from both sides because it's the smaller one with a variable. 50 minus 10 is 40. 40 minus 8 is 32. And then we add 60. 60, 78, we get 18. Negative 18 equals 32x. Divide both sides by 32. Oh, I'm going to end up with a fraction. 18 over 32. I know my answer is going to be negative. What goes into both 18 and 32 evenly?
6.
6. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Oh, 6 doesn't go into 32. 2 goes into it both times. 9. Half of 32 is 16. But again, you can just put that in your calculator. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your writing is right up here on the board. Explain in 4 or more sentences why this does not have a solution.
Oh,
Honey, it's blinking. It's going to die. So you're going to have to look at somebody else's.